Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm here in Goddess Diaries. I'm today talking about I'm going to do makeup with you guys. Everything's going to be very organic and natural here. I'm not going to do too much editing. Because I realized like the last time I had my channel, it was just all the editing was really annoying. So I just decided I'm going to do things organically and just because that's what I absolutely love doing and I'm really good at it. And I know that you all love to listen to me. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Louisa. So because I'm actually going through a transition phase in my life at the moment. So I'm kind of like, a transition phase specifically for me right now is I've all of a sudden realized that I don't like what I was doing with my business anymore. And the purpose that I thought that I had, it just like diminished, went away, and I realized I don't like it. I need to start again. But that again, I don't know what that looks like. So in the process of me figuring out what that is, I realized I'm like, this must be a reason why I'm here in this phase at the moment, in limbo, going through whatever I'm going through. There must be a reason for that. And the reason for that I've come up with is that there's all the other things in my life that need help with and that need to be adjusted, need to be fine-tuned, and things that need to be upgraded. And those are the 5 things I'm going to be talking about today with you guys. So it's your spiritual health, your mental health, your physical health, your relationships, and your overall surroundings. So if you're going through a transition phase in life and you don't really have a direction, right? You had a direction, you've lost it. It feels really scary. It feels daunting, and it feels a lot like failure. It feels like I've just failed everything I was working towards, I don't like. And I can tell you right now, there's a lot of people in the world who are going through transition phases and have in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 50s, and obviously in your 20s too. You're constantly transitioning, you're constantly growing and outgrowing who you were. But I think it's really important to note that it's nothing to be ashamed of, even though I berated myself for weeks over it. And I'm like, this is like shameful. I hate this. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make something out of this. And I'm going to help you guys with it as well. I'm going to go on the journey with you. This is all like very in real time, very organic. And I only kind of realized this like maybe, a week or so ago. And I'm like, I think that it's important to focus on the base that you've got, and the base is you. So whatever you are calling in, whatever you want to call in, what type of life that you want, you know how it looks in the end, but like admittedly, you're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. How am I going to get there? What ideas do I have to get there? There's just steps that you need to take that's going to help you. The vessel needs to be worked on. It needs maintenance. It needs to go in for a service. It's like a little bit of like an audit, it's a service, it's a service. So while I'm doing my makeup, we're going to have a little bit of a chat with that today. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, hang on one second. My beauty blender needs to be wet. So I want to talk about the number one thing first. So I'm talking about mental health and spiritual health first, even though they can intertwine sometimes in like the practices, but we will discuss. So first thing, mental health. Now, by no means am I like a, registered sort of like, what I call therapist or psychotherapist, but I do know how to make myself feel better, and I want to talk about that. And I'm going to talk about the things that I've done to kind of move myself out of phases of life. So the things I want to talk about importantly is what things are actually affecting your mental health. Right? So there's multiple factors, and they actually all the 5 things that I've talked about, that I will talk about today, all filter through with each other. They all kind of have like a little domino effect. So if you kind of tackle one, you can kind of tackle one in another area as well. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is phone usage. Phone usage is huge. I want to be real with you. My biggest problem, I've been trying all year to but reduce my amount of phone usage, right? So are you using your phone on the start of the day? Are you waking up and scrolling? Shittest thing to do. Like, it's the worst. I forgot to put my glow stuff on. That's okay. It's the worst. It affects your nervous system as soon as you wake up, and it also like you're getting settled into someone else's energy before your own. Like, you're jump starting your day on someone else's shit, and that's just not on. It's not cool. It makes you really unsettled in your energy, and it kind of starts you don't really realize it, but subconsciously if you watch something that kind of pissed you off and you're looking at the comment section, you're looking at the fights happening in the comment section, and sometimes I do love a little bit of comment section battle. I'll read them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I won't join in, but sometimes I might like whip out a little bit of something if I'm feeling a type of way, but I'm usually, yes, and then I realize that that's filtering into my day. Nothing to do with me, right? Nothing to do with it. I'm not showing up well for myself by doing that whatsoever. So number 1, phone usage. So what I like to do is implement a strategy, right? No phone for the first half an hour of the day. Now, it starts off weird, especially like if you just feel like you need to attend to your phone straight away. Can you wake up half an hour earlier so that you can attend to your phone when you need to at the time that you wake up normally, you know? So there's that. Also, going to bed and then not using your phone for an hour before bed. Can you start with half an hour before bed? Maybe just read a book, you know? Maybe just hang out. Be present in the moment. So our phones are just, we give it so much power, but it's such a neutral energy. You know what I mean? I feel like I look at a phone and I just think it's so neutral, but it's just kind of an extension of us, right? Which is kind of the point of it. What I do think with phones is that like we give it so much power, something that's so neutral, so much power. So it's actually it's really messy. Our relationship with it is so messy because it's actually not really meant to be in power. We're the ones that are meant to be in power. We're the ones that have the power. If you're someone also who struggles with social media and seeing what's on social media as well, I think it's important to have a look at your relationship with your self-esteem, your self-worth. It's a whole other thing. And I can make a video on that if you like. I think it's really important to look at your relationship with it. Do you need social media? Do you need to be scrolling all the time? Do you have a business on social media? Can you get rid of it for a little bit? You know? Can you buy an app? There's an app called Opal and it like helps you manage your time on social media. Can you put time blockers on there? You know, there's things that you can do to help you manage your time better on social media and stop the scrolling. Scrolling is like, it's killing you. Like if you're someone who's addicted, it's murdering your time. And I know that like they say time is not real. Time is very real here in the 3D. We did come here to exist in the 3D. So let's like respect the time in the 3D that we have, right? And let's not waste it by sitting on our phone scrolling. Until you have the power to discern what you need your phone for, like if you want it for inspiration and then you just go in there, look for inspiration and leave, that's fine. If you don't have that power yet, don't mask it and pretend that you do because you will end up on a scrolling thing. That's number one. That's number one. Number two, what do I have? So things like EFT and breathwork. So EFT tapping and breathwork is a really good way to bring yourself into a present state. There's so many EFT tapping and breathwork things on YouTube. It's literally all for free, where you can do it like it for anxiety, you know, any kind of stress. If you're feeling down, there's a modality for anything. Can you adapt a new modality into your day without stressing yourself out too much? Just keep it really simple. Do you feel it? Have you tried breath work and you maybe didn't vibe with it? Can you go to EFT tapping? Can you do 5-minute one? It doesn't have to be long, but it can be something just for you. Like, can you give something to yourself instead of waking up and living the same day, you know, without improving your life? If you're gonna live the same day every day, at least in those days, do things to improve life a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? So modalities, EFT tapping is really good for mental health, really good for nervous system regulation. Really good for calming the thoughts down. I've always found that tapping has just helped me. I talk myself through something when I tap, and it really helps with releasing. And breathwork's beautiful because it brings me into the present moment and everything just feels so calm. So huge one of those two. And another thing with mental health as well is, how do you talk to yourself? You know, how do you communicate with yourself? How do you speak to yourself? Is it with kindness? Or are you mean? Do you berate yourself? Do you shame yourself? Are you embarrassed? Do you tell yourself you do well? Are you congratulating yourself on all the amazing things that you're doing? Or are you just thinking of your failures and all the things that you haven't done? Are you comparing yourself online and then speaking to yourself like shit? See how everything intertwines. So important to notice how you speak to yourself and notice all of those factors throughout your day. This is all... Well, I found that this all sits in the background for me when I'm really, really busy and I'm really focused on things. But now, because I've got a bit more time now to focus on me, like really focus on me, I'm noticing these things more. And it's something that I really, really want to share with you guys, you know? Your procrastination, like saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I just don't feel it. Do you just not feel it, or you just don't feel like it? It's kind of a different thing. Anyway, how do you talk to yourself? Do you talk to yourself with kindness? There's ways that you can get around that as well and reframe those thoughts, and especially you can do it through EFT tapping. Let me know if you want me to walk you through like a sequence that will help you like from start to finish, from the way you spoke to yourself into the way that you'd like to speak to yourself. I can help you guys out with that. So there's that. And then there's also habits. So, are you a habits person? Do you wake up and have a routine or ritual? Do you have things that you just like doing each day that, keep you on the straight and narrow, keep you focused as well? Do you have modalities that help you stay on the path? Just kind of like EFT tapping, breath work. Also I put in journaling in there because journaling is a habit as well. I'm not a big journaler. I'm not going to lie. I've tried to journal every day. I just can't. I journal when I'm called to, and I think that's okay. I think that's fine. Whatever works for you is good. But I think it's all like, if you're in this space of I'm not sure what I'm doing, and you have a lot of things in your mind, it's really good to get it out there on a piece of paper. You can see it and you can let it go. You can even burn it if you want to make a little ritual out of it. Doesn't matter. I don't care what you do with it. But it does help with bringing yourself back into a better state of peace because you've gotten everything out of your head. So that's the little steps for the mental health. Little steps that you can do. Now, spiritual health. Both of them kind of mix, which is why, I reference both. But I put meditation under spiritual work because meditation, while it's good for the mental health, I believe sometimes meditation is not for everyone. It's not as easy for everyone. A lot of people find it stressful to pretend to be calm and quiet and in the present moment, which is why I love EFT tapping so much, because it forces you to stay present, and so does breath work. It forces you to be present, whereas like meditation, people's minds can wander. So in instances like this with meditation, can you start slow with your, in your spiritual practice? Can you do things that are a little bit more easier? What I like to do is I like to do a breath work first, and then I go into a meditation because I've already been calm. I'm not just going into it say I'm jarred from the day, or if I've just watched something online that's annoyed me, and then I'm going into meditation, trying to calm down. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way at all. It's just not how it is. So is that something that you can try? It's also, meditation is good because it helps you connect back with yourself as well, and helps you connect with your intuition, which I've also got written here as connecting to your intuition more. Doing practices every day that helps strengthen that muscle. Say for example, intuition looks a little bit like, if you're not someone who's trusting of it or hasn't really worked with intuition much, it's doing little things every day that's along the lines of asking your gut, which way should I go when I'm driving? Or which coffee shop should I go to order a coffee? Or if you've picked up two different cleansers, just being which one should I buy? Ask and things like that. And when it works out well, you'll be oh, well, I kind of like the choice that made for me. I like that. And that helps develop intuition more. Really important, because it helps you bring and strengthen the conversation with yourself, your internal monologue. It'll stop the internal monologue of telling you that you're not doing a great job, when you can prove it wrong. Yeah, I actually did, because I chose this thing and turned out to be amazing. I actually can do the right job, So it filters into mental health, because if it filters into your sense of self, your sense of self-worth, and your sense of self-assurance. You're I actually can make the right decision. Who are you to tell me that I can't? Things like that. I put creativity. Isn't this fun? Hang on, where is it? Isn't this just the funnest thing? So it's a little jelly thing. Anyway, sorry, I'm distracted. So creativity. I put creativity under spirituality because I think creativity can really awaken something in you, and it puts you into the most beautiful flow state. There's no more beautiful state than being in a flow state and being completely immersed in something that you really enjoy doing, and going on a full tangent, in a zone. Hours and hours will pass, it'll feel like 5 minutes because you're having such a beautiful time there. That's where creativity comes in, a task or a hobby or something that you really just enjoy doing. If you're someone who's creative and wants to get back into creativity, this is a good time to do that. Really amazing, really special. Grounding is important. I'm not that great with grounding, to be honest with you. I'm very much grounding is me cooking, but I know that I need to stand in some grass, just go touch some grass a little bit more. And I feel like touching grass is important. If you can, give it a go. If you do live in a city area, find a park. This is a place where you can read a book as well. Try not to scroll in this time. I'm just going to be real with you. A lot of people are going to tell you what to do on the internet, but A lot of us kind of say the same things, and a lot of us keep not doing those things. That's why we keep listening. I'm going to be real. So now I wrote down also having discernment. Now discernment is going to come from intuition. And I think discernment is also important because it helps strengthen that intuition, therefore strengthens that sense of self. So for example, if you don't want to do something, just say no. If you don't want to go somewhere, just say no. You don't have to give too much of an explanation. If you're asked an explanation, don't give a too long explanation. This helps give yourself an ability of like, I can trust myself enough to make a decision that I don't want to go somewhere, or I don't want to do something that's out of line with me, that I don't feel like it. I think that's important. I think in discernment is also important because it helps you preempt how you're going to feel about something. Like if you're someone who's not really good in social settings, you know, having discernment enough to not continue to agree with them before going to them and then making yourself feel bad because you're canceling them. I think it's also important to understand that discernment allows you to be able to decide each situation, whether it's going to work for you or not, how it's going to end. And that comes with deepening your spirituality too. Very important. Mental health, spiritual health, physical health. Now, I'm no means a PT and I'm no means like a health professional. So I'm not going to give you specific tips on what to do, but I am going to give you the general tips. How can you improve your diet? Are you someone who's like saves recipes all the time on social media and then just like never makes them? Is this a time that you can make those beautiful recipes? Good for the soul. Really, really good for the soul. Can you exercise more, less? You know, do you need to go for more walks, or do you need to do less HIIT training? You know what I mean? Can you work out like what is going to work for you? Have you seen, you know, a PT or a practitioner or someone who does work with hormones? This is an important one too, because I also wrote down, like, is there any checkups that you need to have that you've been avoiding? Is there things about your body that's been niggling at you and you're going, oh, maybe I need to check whether this is going to be right for me, or that I need to look at this specifically? Is the way that I'm living, is my lifestyle, is like the way that I'm existing, is it healthy for me? And start auditing that. Start looking at that and being like, hey, I'm not able to, I feel tired every day. What do I need to remove? What do I need to take away? What do I need to add? Is there supplements? Is there a different way of eating? Do I need to do an allergy test? Do I need to work out what I'm like intolerant to? Things like that. It's really just doing a lot of admin on yourself. This is kind of the premise of this video. This is the premise of what, you know, transition phases can be. It's just doing a lot of admin because you've got this time. It's like you've now, you know, it's like you've lost your job, which is like not really like lost your job, but you know, you're now like the admin chick for yourself. You know, you're the PA. You're able to do all of these things. You have this time. If you're not too sure where you're going in life, you've got a little in a bit of a phase, this is the time to do that admin. Because then the foundation now gets laid for the next lot of you that comes in, the you that wants everything that you want, the higher self version of you. You know what I mean? So it's creating that stable foundation. And maybe that stable foundation comes with eating a better diet, creating a like health and wellness plan that's going to work for you. It's going to get those checkups and finding out why like your hip's a bit sore. You know, it's going to that osteo and, you know, straightening and aligning your body. You know, it's just doing those little things that go, okay, maybe I need to work this out. You know, I got a letter the other day to go get a pap smear. I'm terrible with them. I'm terrible. I don't really go ever. You need to go. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's neglect to your body, and you just never know what other things your body will say if you start ignoring it. So I just think it's really important. Don't ignore the body. Just the body will tell you what it wants at all times. And also when it comes to stress management as well, things will always manifest when it comes to stress. What else have I got written down? How's your nervous system? I know it's such a buzzword at the moment. Like I ick myself when I say it, but I know it's just a me thing. Does this need work? That comes down to also mental health, EFT tapping, breath work, slower mornings. You can start with doing slower mornings. That really, really calms it down. Don't put yourself in someone else's energy at the start of the day. Go find yours first. Then go in someone else's energy. That checking the phone vibe. Important. Okay. Relationships. Relationships are important. They're going to always need auditing, right? They're going to always need like reviewing, always going to need looking over. You know, you'll change over time. Your friends will change, la-di-da. So Who out of your life, now that you have the time to look at it, who out of your life is bringing you down or bringing you up? You know, are you sitting in the presence of people and you're not feeling good? Or you're sitting in the presence of your friends and you're like, wow, this I feel amazing with them. I always feel beautiful. They always make me feel amazing. You know, I'm always laughing, always having fun. Okay? Look at that. Who's bringing you down and who's bringing you up? Really simple question. You'll answer it really simply as well. Don't think too much about it. Go through your friends and have a look. I got this, like, when I wrote my relationship audit course, this is the stuff that I did, and this is the stuff that I wrote down. Have you outgrown anyone? Hard pill to swallow when you really look at that. Outgrowing people is hard. It's hard because there's no reason why not to love them, but there's also really hard to stick around them because you just don't feel like you fuck with them anymore. Who have you outgrown? And who can you have conversations with about it? It's hard because I think friendship breakups are probably it's harder than actual breakups because girlhood is there's nothing like it. And I don't really know what manhood is like because I can only really speak on, a female's behalf. But having women friends is really, really beautiful. And especially when you haven't had luck with them in life. So I hold mine very, very dearly, but I also have my standards. And so, you can outgrow people and it hurts. Is there a way that you can, let me think. When you feel like you've outgrown people, there's a couple of things that you can do. There's the ability for you to learn patience. Can I learn patience with this person? Because am I struggling to accept them because they're not as developed as me? And it's not about you going down to meet them at that level. You still love each other on some level. Naturally, relationships will fade if you guys are really kind of falling apart, and there won't be any bad blood between you, but there will be this sting of I still love that person, but we're just not on the same level anymore. There may be opportunities for you guys to come back to each other, but I know and I understand that not always is that going to happen. So you'll know people in your life that you've naturally drawn away from and you naturally are not on the same vibe. And I would just probably say lovingly start to if you really feel like it's over, it's not really salvageable, you're not really meshing, is gently start to separate yourselves from each other with love, rather than doing it when it comes to a boiling point and you're frustrated with each other, but because you're on two different planets. It's happened to a lot of people. It's very, very common. Don't be upset about it. It's upsetting, but it happens. You can't hold on to everyone forever. You never know, they can come back. So, the second one I've also written down as well is there an expiry date coming in a friendship? So that can be along the lines of people you've outgrown, or people that you're really struggling with as well. Have you outgrown any friendships? Is there is there an expiry date entering? Can you start having conversations now with this person to start separating yourself with love? Because when it's done with angst, like I said, a little bit harder, a little bit more, the soul hurts a little bit more for this one, a lot harder to get over. And is there conversations that need to be had? Basically. So all of that kind of links into one. Relationship audits are really important. I don't like the way they did my eyes. Brushes. Okay, what else do I have? Hi, beautiful. Hemi. Is he deaf? I don't know. Okay. Lifestyle things. So lifestyle things are important because it's just the way that you're living. Are you living in an outdated way? Are you living the same way that you did when you were early 20s or a teenager? Are you someone who's really messy and untidy? I honestly don't know if I'm going to say something that's a little bit controversial. I don't really know if it's an excuse to still be messy in your 30s. Your house shouldn't be a pigsty. I'm sorry, you shouldn't. You should have some sort of dishes should be done. Just do your dishes. Put things away. You should there shouldn't be shit dirty shit lying around in life, because that is just such a manifesto of what's going on inside, and cleaning that will help clear your mind. So can you detox and clean your home? Detoxing your home may look like throwing shit out that you no longer use, throwing shit out that's broken. I've always had this thing, you know, it's old wives' tale where I'm from, is that anything that's broken in the house needs to get rid of because it represents like you keeping things that are broken, which means like fractured energy. I believe that wholeheartedly. I throw anything out that's broken unless I can repair it, which would be like maybe like a piece of clothing that I can sew easily. Something that I can glue. Not very often. I will often throw things away that are broken. Throw shit out that's broken. Throw shit out that doesn't work. Throw shit out that's tarnishing. Everything, just get rid of it. You'll have clear energy, newer energy, and things will be able to flow in. Is there, like I mentioned before, is the way that you're living healthy, or is it still kind of like you're living in your early 20s? You know, are you someone who just like, I know there's people at night owls and morning people, which is so fine. But it's like those night owls that's like, are you sitting up scrolling all night? How is that productive? You know, how is that helping your mental health later on? You know what I mean? Things like that. If you feel like it's affecting you, if you feel like every day you're waking up groggy, there's probably a reason for it. There's that. Can you make house rules for yourself? Like if you live with other people, is there like some sort of house cleaning that you can do? Is there a roster that you can put up? Say, for example, every Wednesday you do a deep clean. Every these days a week you're mopping. These days a week that you're vacuuming. Can like every month you go through like a little bit of a detox, fridge cleanup, anything. Can you just, because you have this time now to be able to create these systems. These systems can flow when you start getting busy with life and you start focusing on your career and you're focusing on your purpose and what you really want to do, right? If you're someone who just is kind of floating through, house is messy, you're fucking around, that's just what it's going to look like forever, you know? It just is like you've just got to make some changes. It's important. So I don't know, people might not like to hear that, but it's true. And then, this is a really, really good one. Okay, cool. So it's, you know, those tasks in your house that you look at and you're like, oh, I really need to get that done. And you just don't. Now's your time. Because how good does it feel when you're able to either fix a pot plant that may need, you know, say repotting. There's something in your house that needs doing. There's something that needs to either be painted. Something that needs to be adjusted. There's a swap over in furniture. You need some new pillows and cushions for the couch. You go and get them. And slowly making these changes and refreshing everything is such a beautiful way to create a new flow in your life and new chi, new energy. It'll flow through and it manifests into you as well. A clean space, a wholesome space. It's a reflection of you. Your home is a reflection of you. It's true. And I did a little bit of like feng shui studying and like I looked at, you know, how it works. And I started adopting some of that into my house. And it's beautiful. I do come home, even if life can get a little bit stressful and uncomfortable, I go home and I'm just like, my home looks great and I'm going to take pride in it. I think it's also important to go through your wardrobes and the clothing that you don't wear anymore. I really struggle with that because I can be a little bit of a hoarder, but then sometimes I go through phases where I'm like, I throw so many bags of clothing out. I know that another throw out is coming. I can just like feel it in my bones. But can you throw shit out? Just look through. If you don't wear it anymore, if you don't like it anymore, throw it. I'm saying that to myself because there's shit that I'm still keeping because I'm like, I might wear that for an event. But do you know what? Sometimes it's actually done me dirty because I've thrown things out and then I look back and I really wanted to wear it and I just kicked myself. Like, I didn't let that go. I'm like, Louise, how could you do that? How could you? But if things are old, if things are just not working, if things are just ratty, throw them away. Throw them away. This is such a good time for you to do an audit when you're not going through a lot of like career focus or purpose focus. And it's going to make a really great help when you actually are in this space when you're creating and when you're moving towards and you're feeling really purposeful and you're like, I'm already manifested to the version of myself that has what I want because I've been able to create the system when when I'm on a down low. It's like a little permission slip for you to, you know, clean your shit up a little bit. And there's always an opportunity to do that. So 5 pillars: mental health, spiritual health, physical health, relationships, and lifestyle. Let me know if I've missed anything. Let me know if you want me to talk about anything else. And as I go along, I'll also be giving a lot of tips along my journey and what I've been doing too and how it's going to help. But like, let's remove the shame and stigma of feeling like crap when we're going through a transition phase in life. Because we're not always meant to have it figured out. It's just so weird. 30s is just really weird. I find it, I've never felt weirder. In my 20s, I was like, but in my 30s, I'm like, why is this weird? Everything's weird. It's weird. Okay. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that and have a most beautiful day.